Okay, get this. What if you could build your own powerful custom AI? Not in months, not in weeks, but in a single afternoon. Today, we're diving into how that's not just some sci-fi dream anymore, it's becoming absolutely essential. We're talking about building real, high-performance AI in just a matter of hours. So, let's just kick things off with a question that might sound a little crazy. What if a small, specialized AI model could go head-to-head with an industry giant, one of the big names, and actually hold its own? It's the ultimate David versus Goliath story, but for the AI world. And you know what? We're going to answer that exact question today. Now, to really get why this David versus Goliath thing matters so much, we've got to talk about a problem that, well, pretty much everyone is running into right now. Let's call it the proprietary AI dilemma. You see, most developers are using these massive, closed-off models, and they're starting to realize there are some serious hidden costs. And this really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the big closed AI models. And yeah, they're powerful, but they come with some serious strings attached. You get very little customization, costs can be super high, and latency can be a real pain. But more importantly, you're sending your private data to a third party. It's a total black box, which is a huge security risk. On the other hand, you've got this amazing world of open and custom AI. Here, you get full control, way lower costs, better security, and, this is a big one, no vendor lock-in. You're in the driver's seat. So, this brings us right to the heart of the matter. The future of AI is custom. Yeah, it might sound like a lot of work, but building your own models is quickly becoming the only way to go if you actually want to innovate, instead of just, following the pack. And look, the stakes here are pretty high. There's this quote that just hits the nail on the head. It basically says that if your whole AI strategy is just writing prompts for someone else's closed model, you're probably going to get left behind. The message is crystal clear. The future belongs to the builders. So, why go through the trouble of building your own AI? Well, the payoff is huge. You can get way, way higher quality for the specific things you need it to do. You can slash your costs and speed things up like crazy. And you keep total control over your own data. This frees you from being stuck with one company and lets you build things that are truly new and innovative. The only catch? This used to be ridiculously hard to do. Until now. And that's where Oumi comes in. Think of it as the toolkit designed to make building custom AI faster and easier than it has ever been before. So, what is Oumi exactly? Well, you can think of it as this all-in-one open-source platform that basically handles the entire A to Z of creating your own model. It's built to just supercharge your ability to build from the first idea all the way to deployment. Probably the best way to wrap your head around Oumi is to think about it as a new level of abstraction. You started with the really low-level stuff like PyTorch, kind of like building a car from individual nuts and bolts. Then Hugging Face came along and gave us a layer on top of that, which was awesome. Well, Oumi provides another layer on top of the entire ecosystem, so you don't have to get bogged down coding everything from scratch. And when I say it's comprehensive, I mean it covers the whole shebang. We're talking synthesizing your data, pre-training, fine-tuning, running inference. It even has clever ways to evaluate your model, like using another AI to act as a judge. And the best part? You can do all this with a super simple command line interface. No code needed, or a low-code Python API. So it's accessible for everyone, but still totally customizable for the experts. All right, so that all sounds amazing on paper, right? But does it actually work in the real world? Let's dive into a case study that really puts Oumi to the test. This is where we get to see David actually take on Goliath. So here's the challenge they set up. Take a pretty small, 8 billion parameter open source model and teach it to do something super complex. Text to SQL. Basically, you ask it a question in plain English, and it has to spit out a perfect SQL query to get that answer from a database. It's a really tough task. Okay, so before they did any tuning, here's where things stood. The little 8 billion parameter model, it was hitting about 82% accuracy. Not bad, but the giant in the room, the big state-of-the-art proprietary model, it was way up there at almost 90%. That's a pretty significant gap they needed to close. So, how'd they do it? How did they close that gap? You're gonna love how simple this is. First, they just put together a specialized data set for the task. Then, they laid out all the training settings in one easy configuration file. And then, the final step, you just run one single command in your terminal, Oumi train. That's it. And that one command kicked everything off. After just, get this, 4 to 8 hours of training, Less than a single workday, the job was done. So, the big question, what happened to that performance gap? The results are, well, just look at this. They're absolutely stunning. The performance of that little Gumi-tuned model just skyrockets. Look how close those two bars are now. That performance gap, it's basically gone. Let's put a number on it. 89.56%. I mean, that is just incredible. It's a perfect demonstration that a small open source model, when you specialize it for a specific job with a tool like Oumi, can absolutely hang with the biggest players out there. It can achieve true state-of-the-art performance. So you see, this is way more than just a cool experiment, right? This is basically a call to action. It proves that the power to build incredible, high-performance, custom AI is now genuinely in your hands. And that leads us to the real question. All right, so let's just quickly recap the big takeaways here. 1. The future is all about custom and open source AI. 2. Small, specialized models can totally rival the giants. 3. Tools like Oumi give you the complete, easy-to-use toolkit to actually do it. And 4, and this is the most exciting part, you can get started in hours, not months. So we're going to leave you with this thought. The tools to build the next generation of AI aren't some far-off dream anymore. They're here, and they're open to everyone. The question isn't, can I build custom AI anymore? The real question is, what amazing problem are you going to solve with it?